still connect, because at the end of the day, I still have to manage you all, I still have to lead you all, because at the end of the day, if things don't go right, my name is on it. And so just training and trying to get a new perspective, get people to look at me differently, to respect me, basically. So that was kind of the early on challenges that I faced.
So for me, so I actually started in public health during H1N1. I don't know if you all remember that, but that's when I started as an epidemiologist with the City of Houston's health department. And so for me, that, graduating with my MPH in May and then just jumping right into H1N1 and all the craziness that came with that, similar to COVID, but for me, it was a little different because, there was just, being able to apply what you learn, but I mean, you can read the information in the textbook, but actually doing it is completely different. So I think for me, it wasn't a learning curve, but it was just how quickly the career was requiring me to get caught up to speed so fast. But I would also say for me as well, I actually took a non-traditional route with pursuing my doctorate. So I've worked the entire time that I worked on my PhD, and so that was very challenging, working and trying to excel in your career, but also pursue your further or your terminal degree. So I would say those two things, but throughout that, life always happened. Throughout that journey, my sister passed away, and so it was just a lot of things that I experienced early in my career. But I think if what I would give to others is just try to stay the course, even though life happens. But if it's something that you want, continue to work hard at it. I went into my doctorate program like, oh, I'm gonna get this done in 3 years, because when I was at A&M, a lot of the students that I worked with as a graduate research assistant, they were completing their degrees, in 3.5 years. And I was like, oh, I got that, I can do it too. Yeah, but they weren't full-time employees. And so, so that's why I would say for me as in my early career, that just working full-time, getting thrown into public health so quickly during a pandemic, well, it wasn't even a pandemic, it was more of an outbreak or epidemic. Those are just two things that I would say at the early part of my career. So now I feel like I can kind of coast a little bit.
For me, it was, people don't know what public health is. So you have to, when I worked for the CDC, I was working in the workforce development. Workforce development is fairly new, and many people don't understand it in that. So when we say, oh, I work in public health, well, who do you work for? I work for the CDC. Oh, so you do drug laws and you work in the disease? No. I work in paperwork. I work in trying to get people to come into public health. I work in trying to make departments better and trying to make education programs flourish. And they were like, well, what is public health? And so I just put where community meets clinicians. We're the in-between. You go to the doctor to get your drug law and go here, but then you get a piece of paper that tells you all of the steps